Any board members call in? I mean, I can see your name if you logged in on the computer. Have any board members called in?
Moshe Fuke, calling in.
Okay, I saw your name, Rabbi. So
Okay,
you
good.
signed in too. Okay. And if you don't have closed captioning on, I highly recommend you turn on closed captioning at the bottom left. If you're using a computer, if you're using a mobile device, I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I believe it's somewhere in the options.
Jeremy, this is Serena Muniz.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Let me rename you. You're calling in, right?
Good evening, Jeremy. Jeremy, this is Jeanette Wilson. I'm online.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you, A.D. Scraley, Miguel, David Levitt. Anybody has their name is displayed, I can see that. I just wanted people who called in whose phone number I don't recognize. Oh, stop in my head. We are going to start soon.
Oh, yeah,
You're in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do we have a program?
Okay, if anybody joins online, whether it's Yahe, Christina Contreras, Christine Culpepper, Bernadette Ferrara, Ken Gelnick, Serena, Serena, I got you now.
We'll be late. So
Keith, I see.
10 o'clock.
Anybody else? Juanita, Harry, Janice? Let me know if they show up, please.
I'm on, Jeremy. You didn't mention my name, Lisa. I don't know if you were calling people who weren't on or were on.
Yeah, I got you, Lisa.
Okay.
Yep.
And Jeremy, you also have me, right?
Yeah, I have everybody whose name is I can read. Unless you
Okay.
called in with a phone number.
Can you kindly take your seats?
Oh, I got to turn it on. Go ahead.
Board members, kindly take your seats, please.
Thank you. Okay, today is Thursday, November 17th, 2022. It is 7:11 p.m. This is the full board meeting of Community Board 11. We're at Maestro's in person. We're also online, hybrid. And we will start off with our Sergeant at Arms, who will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. We gotta get the flag. So where's North? That way?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay. Oh, 1 minute silence.
Okay, everyone, please say stand. I'm sorry for the,
In a moment of silence. You want to use the mic,
okay, so we have. a moment of
mic,
silence
microphone, please?
for- That was loud enough. Too loud.
No,
You guys
we're recording. You got to be really loud. Press, it should be green. They're all off.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll have a moment of silence for fallen first responders and medical terrorist service personnel suffering throughout the world. Thank you.
So we're gonna start with the gallery. We're gonna start with the people who registered online first. So is it green, Bob? It's the light. I didn't turn it on yet. I don't know if somebody online is here from the Borough President's office. I don't think so. No response right now.
So Jeremy, can we look at 2 minutes?
Yes. Oh. We're gonna look at the 14th. That's the boss.
Since I'm Bob.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Okay, I have 3 things tonight. Number 1, the conduct of the last leadership meeting needs to be investigated by the Borough President's office and this board's ethics committee. The Sergeant of Arms should not have to pound 6 times on the table to silence board members who are out of order and have been talking about nothing that had to do with the meeting. It's amazing. I've been to over 1,000 community board meetings and I've never seen any conduct like that. Number 2, this is the 3rd meeting of CB11, and it still has 11 vacancies. I applied to the board, I even spoke to BP Gibson about a month and a half ago. And unfortunately, I cannot say what she said to me, and I cannot say what I really want to say, because I know the conduct of the community boards. Haven't been a community board member for 6 years, and an ethics committee member. So I won't say anything more than that. But this board needs to be filled to its capacity. It needs those 11 vacancies filled. Lastly, I will close with some facts from Control Atlanta on Rikers Island that he put out today. There are currently 5,940 people in custody at Rikers Island, up 1% from last month, and well above the capacity of the borough jails intended to replace Rikers. Individuals with serious medical illness still compose 18% of the overall population, increasing it to 1,063 people this month. My question here is, we were given fact sheets where mental illness is a qualification for just home, where there will be 50 people, Fortune Society will supervise them, and these people with mental illness, even though they may be free to roam around and take the BX12 bus, unsupervised. What is going on here? Are these people, these 1,000 people, going to wind up here at Jacoby Hospital? Because we hear there's going to be more buildings done. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Next speaker, Diana Finch.
Since I registered to speak about construction, we've been notified that there'll be some December meetings on this, so thanks to Housing Committee Chair Hazel Muir about that. The most pressing concern in the Bronx Park East area is not the buildings themselves, but the pressure they'll put on parking, which is already in crisis. BPECA will be renewing a request for perpendicular parking on both sides of Bronx Park East. We'll do everything in its power to support this. On Just Home, I asked in a meeting earlier this year that demographic information on members also neighborhoods where they live or work, so we could easily see that all neighborhoods have adequate representation and membership is not concentrated in a few. It seemed to be met with agreement and now seems pressing in light of unanswered questions posed by Mr. Ronald Colangelo at last month's full board meeting, which he asked Vice Chair Al D'Angelo about having retained a lawyer at what sounded like significant expense to represent the Lawrence Park Community Association against Just Home. Vice Chair D'Angelo, in his role as president of Lawrence Park, arranged the first community meeting on Just Home at Maestro's. In the absence of Chair Obey, he also presided over the public hearing at Jacoby. Following the lack of a quorum at the October Housing Committee meeting, he made the motion in the next leadership meeting to send a letter of objection on Just Home. I believe he's also a member of the Jacoby Health Hospitals Community Advisory Board and has publicly called for health and hospitals to be defunded. While all of this may not technically be a conflict of interest, it does have the appearance of one, especially given the lack of transparency and resulting confusion about which position he's acting in and who he's acting on behalf of. I believe it's more urgent than ever to add information on neighborhood demographics, as well as any positions members hold in other community organizations, to the board website and require members to state their positions they are speaking or voting or presiding over community board matters in their areas. Thank you.
Yep, go ahead.
Ms. Finch, just to respond, I did not chair the meeting at Jacoby. That was Hazel Muir's committee. I was helping out because the people in the community know who I am. But I never mentioned I was with the community board that evening. I was there for the Morris Park Association. I wasn't there for the community board. There's a difference. I try to keep those separate as much as I can. The meeting I called at Jacoby at Maestro was the first meeting, was strictly Morris Park Association. I did not confer with the board. That was our meeting. I just want to let you know that.
Okay, one thing, please.
Mike, microphone. Just keep it on. Just keep it on at this point.
I'll give you that today. Please, you have a point, let the board member respond.
Okay, just closer to the mic next time.
Okay.
Okay. Next gallery session speaker, Teuta Hoja. I believe she's online.
Hi. You can
Go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yep.
Okay. Hello. Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for your time. My name is Teuta Hoja, and I'm here with my colleagues to discuss the Assembly Bill A9518 and why you should help us pass it. In 2019 to 2020, 10.8% of children up to 17 years old have experienced food insecurity. Based on the United States Department of Agriculture, an estimated 30 million students depend on their schools to give them at least one meal daily. I will now pass it over to my colleague, Nicole.
Students who are eligible for free lunch and opt not to partake before the universal free meal was adopted had now increased participation by more than 21%. This proves that shaming and stigma has a tremendous effect on children. Students with poor diet and nutrition deficiencies are linked to a range of behavioral, mental, and physical health problems. School meals reduce poor health and obesity rates by 21 to 33%, and it also correlates with lower BMI. And removing National School Lunch Program and making universal school meals for all will take paperwork out of the equations for families, and it alleviates the responsibility of school administrators that track down each family to write off debt. And I'm going to pass it off to Afia.
Hi, sorry about that. Just give me 1 second. So as you know, if a launch application is processed incorrectly, a student's launch ranks up quickly. For instance, Kyle, who's a 7th grader in Chicago, Illinois, in junior high school, experienced this firsthand. His mother thought he submitted all the necessary documents to score a free school meal for her child, but a year later, the mother discovered there was a nearly 1,000 lunch debt because the application was incorrectly put through or administered. I'm going to pass it up to my next colleague, Nikki. I'm sorry if I said your name incorrectly.
Hi, how are you guys? Lack of adequate healthy food can impair a child's ability to concentrate and perform well in school and is linked to higher levels of behavioral and emotional problems from preschool from adolescence. Food insecurity can affect children in any community, not only traditionally, but for underserved communities as well. So for 2 years during the pandemic, there was a budget offering free lunch for all students, which ended in June 30th of 2022. It's imperative to work deliberately on passing this Assembly Bill 89518 for students to have free access to breakfast and lunch. It has several positive impacts on students. First, it can end school food stigma, terminate lunch shaming, and eliminate lunch debt, reduce childhood hunger and food insecurity, remove a significant administrative burden, and enhance learning and academic achievement. Better nutrition has beneficial effects on cognitive performance, improve health outcomes, improve attendance, increase energy and alertness. Thank you guys for your time.
Explain why she had.
Yeah. So that was the next three speakers. Anybody have any questions? If not, we will move on to the paper slips. Okay. Yeah, no, she just spoke. She was the last speaker. Okay, thank you very much. We are going to move on to the gallery session slips. First person we have is Roy Mandina. Okay. I can't read this necessarily. Ronnie. Okay, Coangelo. Yeah, I know how it is.
Finish for the shout out.
The mic, please, into the mic.
2 minutes. Sure. I want to thank Ms. Finch for the shout out. You hear me?
Is it green? Just
I'm
leave it
having a
on.
really hard time hearing people.
Thank Ms. Finch for the shout out. I just wanted to know if the HSC has gotten in touch with the board about
We got more questions that were sent and answered, but we do need to know the process. I don't know if anybody here knows the process for when the Health and Hospitals Board is going to.
We've been trying to go down and speak at the board down in Manhattan. They're going to say, oh, it's not on the agenda. I don't speak with that. Something can help us.
Yeah, we should find out when it's on the agenda.
I cannot hear this guy at all.
You are not alone, Miguel, nor can I.
Okay, so
We'll see if we can get that on the agenda for.
yeah, so the gallery session speaker want to know what is the timeline for the Just Home initiative? When is it going to be on the agenda, the HHC board and whatnot? Yeah, I mean, since people online are always having this issue, maybe we can invest in a real hybrid issue at our full board meetings, or I don't know if anybody's opposed to that. Yep.
I'm 100 on that.
So we can look into it for December, and I'll get I'll inform the board of what I can find on that. All right. So the next gallery session speaker, Roxanne Delgado.
First, I'd start directly to the chair, D'Angelo. I didn't Jesus visiting at the meeting. Excuse me. That's uncalled for. That's uncalled for.
Again, not hearing at all.
This is so childish.
We cannot hear the speakers, please.
Yeah, I will reiterate it. Just give me a second. Just give us a second.
No, well, because I interrupted me, please. Thank you so much. Again, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Chair D'Angelo. I didn't appreciate you missing me at the leadership meeting, but I brought up the fact that the board was in violation of the open meetings law by not providing the minutes for September transportation meeting to 2022. If that meeting was not recorded, you're not obligated to record meetings, or when meetings are not recorded, those minutes must be provided within 2 weeks before the 2 minutes when the meeting convened. That was not done, so I brought that up to you, and you just dismissed me. This is accepting because the people I didn't know about Bronx sale was first, it was not listed on the agenda. The minutes for the Bronx sale road item was not provided until this year after the road item was done. even though the meeting was held in March 2021. And then the board didn't notify us on July 7th when DOT contacted the board, this community board, that the project would proceed. So you might think that you cannot be nitpicking the fact that you're not abiding by the open meetings law. It's not only that you're violating the law, but the fact is that you, by violating the law, is putting us at disadvantage, especially with the Brockville Road diet. We would have known about it if those minutes were posted in a timely manner. We would have known about it if those was listed on the agenda, and the committee would have notified us in July of this year that the road diet would proceed. So please, next time when I bring up something that is violating the open meeting law, the FOIA law, the city charter, your own bylaws, your own code of conduct, take it serious because it is a serious matter. It affects everyone. Please, I appreciate that.
It is a serious concern because I was much opposed to that road dieting as you are. In my report, you'll see what we tried to do to alleviate that problem, but I'll save that for my report.
Okay, but again, this got been avoided and those minutes were posted timely. And when I brought it up to you again, the board didn't post the minutes on a timely basis, you dismissed me. You said gallery session's over.
What?
And then someone's, no, but that's not fair. If someone's bring up to you something serious violations of affecting your community transparency and notification, you should take that serious and follow up with me and say, well, how are we in violation? I said, okay, you spoke for 2 minutes, you're dismissed.
But you sent your request to the board, correct?
Well, what request? I'm bringing it up now.
You brought it up once before.
So
I brought it up at the leadership committee meeting and you dismissed me.
Do we have a sergeant of arms?
So let me address this. I was going to do it during my report, but I'll do it now. So Ms. Delgado brought to her attention that a law was passed in 2021, I believe. Well, she sent me a news article which took me to the actual legislation that says, she's right. It has to. The old way was you had to be available upon request, but now it has to be published within 2 weeks. Our meeting minutes or an unabridged recording. So I did, when she sent me the news article, I looked it up. She's correct, just from my perspective. And so I emailed her thanking her so much for that. And I think this will save the board a lot of time because obviously meeting minutes has always been an issue that not only Ms. Delgado's harped on, but I've harped on. And unabridged recordings can act as meeting minutes according to the law, and we just gotta make sure we publish it within 2 weeks.
Again, D'Angelo, some of the fact that you're against Brockville diet, it could have been prevented if the board did their job and abided by the open meeting law. The fact is, whenever I bring it up to your attention, only to dismiss me, you said, are we mandated to do so? You shouldn't be mandated to do the right thing by this community, to keep us informed and to do outreach. This is the problem with this board. You don't keep us informed, you don't provide us the information, you don't do the outreach. This is why the community is losing. Thank you so much.
I think Ms. Delgado has gotten more than her 2 minutes.
Yeah, all right, so Efren Gonzalez, next gallery session speaker.
Members of the board and community, I want to just stress that this conversation and this fanfare over the Just Vote proposal, it was dropped on this community, like I mentioned before, but it speaks about how HHC looks at this community and how a lot of people that were supporting it didn't even know what was in it, because when I went around the community and asked them, they had no clue. The staff at Jacoby didn't know. The staff where I work in Montefiore Einstein did not know because there were no details. It is a dangerous thing to just throw it down like a magic carpet and not think that there will be repercussions. This community does not have the resources to have that type of facility. Now, people are going to keep sweeping and stirring it up, but I will tell you, that is not going to happen in this community. We're going to look for alternatives, okay? I love the alternatives where I work with Mothers Against 1900 Seminole. I love the fact that Christy Marmorato mentioned about a domestic violence shelter. There's other things that we can have instead of that. And I want people to have an open mind because that's the only way that things are gonna get done. And that Jacoby site. We're not going to just be stomped on. This is not a dark game where you could just throw things at our community. And there's other things involved other than the residents. It's the people that come and go, have work there and have a livelihood, and they want to get home safe. That's all I want to say. I'm not going to delve into this person, that person. They will rabble and they have a right to. We're going to stand true.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we have representatives of the New York Public Library.
Good. Started?
Whenever you're ready.
We're ready. All right, good evening, board. Manny here. I just want to, I'll make it quick so I can give my NYPL Active School. I know I spoke about that last month. I want to say we've seen an increase. So for 4 days a week, we're seeing an average from 15 to 20 kids now coming in. And I really want to, we've been really trying to connect with the schools, getting out to the high schools, to the middle schools. If any of you know of any parents that need help, their children need help, please send them to the library. We have 2 tutors each day that are assisting with this. I don't want to speak too much and dive into it, but I am in the process of finalizing the renovations for a studio that we're building in the basement, which is going to consist of music production, video production, and podcasting. It's going to be both for adults and teens. And in addition to that, we're planning a Winter Wonderland extravaganza, that programs that will take place between December and January. So follow us on Facebook, Allerton Branch, and on Instagram is Allerton NYPL. And I'll pass it on to Annalise Reyes from Pelham Parkway Van Ness. Oh, by the way, Morris Park is having an adult concert December 17th. For more details, you can find it on their page. I'll pass it on.
Separate speaker.
Hi, I'm Anais Reyes. I just want to introduce myself again, Pelham Parkway Branch Manager. And what I want to introduce is that we're going to start having therapy dog sessions for students to come to the branch to read, so that they're not scared to read. I have flyers in the back as well.
Okay, next and last gallery session speaker, sorry, is Roy Mendino. Good. Okay.
First thing I'd like to do is thank the board for their vote last month, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. 1900 project. I think 4 people on the board that were for it. What I want to say is the people that came here and spoke out against this project, they spoke with passion because it's their lives. It's their children, wives, their daughters. It affects their property value. What I can't understand is that supported. I want to know, I want to ask them, I stated exactly the things that would hurt this community if we have this. But these people show up here every time in support of that they're supporting this. They don't have, most of them are not property owners, so they're not going to lose money. And if the project goes through, they don't gain money because we have former prisoners living in our neighborhood. They're not going to feel less safe because, because there's no prisoners in our neighborhood. What is their motive? I keep asking and I don't get answers from these people. They just say they're for the project. I'm against it because my daughter can be assaulted, my wife can be assaulted, my property values are going to go down. These people that support it, What's their motive? Unless they're getting paid, what else can it be to support this project? Who would support bringing violent felons into a residential neighborhood unless they're getting paid to do it? I can't think of another reason. Where is their passion for them showing up at these meetings every single time to support
That's it.
this? I want to know the answers to this. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes the gallery.
As a board member, as a property owner, I don't think that it's fair to say at all that anybody is worried, anybody is hoping that something bad happens to anyone. So yeah, that's all.
Yes. Mike, which is it, number 2? Was it green? I had them all off at the beginning. Just leave it on. No, I got.
Nobody wants anybody's child to be hurt.
You sure it's not working? It's testing them all. They're working. Yeah, so we'll get rid of 2. Sorry.
Hello? Is that it? Yeah. Awesome. So I don't know your name, right? But as I said last time, I did hear you, right? But I do believe so I said it last week. I heard you last week. With all to but I see things in ways that
I can't hear this gentleman at all.
don't have.
1 second.
I cannot ask to vote A for something. Simply not. That vote last week wasn't a vote in favor of the project. Vote to send it was a vote to send out no recommendation. I asked the board, asked our leadership, so let's not have this vote, right? Let's wait. Let's get more information so you can be more educated. I can be more educated. We can be more informed and have the conversation that is needed. I do believe homeowners are a vital part of our economy, but so are renters. We're not just a community of homeowners. We're a community of people who rent, people who own, people who own businesses, people who also are employees, right? And we deserve to have a united conversation as to how we advance. So I wasn't voting against you. I was voting for our community to be better informed as to what is happening within our city. Thank you.
Yeah, you can respond.
Appreciate and respect that answer. I understand what you're saying. But what I don't understand is how you're in good conscience. You absolutely know crime is going to increase in that neighborhood, in our neighborhood. Know that. You also know that our property value is going to go down for thousands of homes. We're talking multi-billions of dollars that's going to be lost in our. That should be all we need to know, especially the crime part. That's going to happen. You know the rate of recidivism. We had the guy from the Fortune Society tell us these wonderful stories about success stories, and that's fantastic. We want to see prisoners come out, and we want to see them do good. But you can't tell the success stories and be on an honest person without some of the horror stories either. The rate of recidivism, especially for sexual predators, is better than 70%. That's what's going to be walking around my neighborhood. If I was sitting there, if I was sitting anywhere, if I had any kind of a moral judgment, and I knew that even one extra person is going to be sexually assaulted, a crime that is disgusting, that's going to last for the rest of their lives, never going to be forgotten about, I can't in good conscience vote for that. It's a no-brainer.
You have to vote no on this. I mean, it's just, we don't have to know each other. I don't know Roger Thomas until I met him. My heart poured out for him. I started to cry when I heard what happened to his wife, what happened to him. I mean, this is a no-brainer. They don't belong in our neighborhood.
So, pass the mic, please, to Rich.
For the record, we voted no. Right, okay. Is that point? Yeah, thank you.
I didn't vote no. I'm sorry, I did vote no.
Okay, okay. All right, so that concludes the gallery. Chairman's report, Al D'Angelo.
Okay, first, to talk about Ms. Delgado's question about Bronxdale Avenue. Bronxdale Avenue, if anybody's traveled Bronxdale Avenue, is a disgrace. We called for a meeting with the head of DOT, Jeremy, myself, and Yahin and Veronica. Met with the gentleman. We walked him from Maestro's all the way down to the gas station on Bronxdale, showing him the precarious situations that go on Bronxdale Avenue. It's whoever designed that, three very intelligent engineers figured this out. So did they walk the neighborhood before they did this? We didn't have a town hall on it. The community didn't have a voice in it. It's a disgrace. The patrol car for the association, wearing the other hat, the patrol car from the association can't get out without putting themselves in harm's way because the cars are on the street. If you park your car and you open your car door, someone's going to take it off. It's that dangerous. And we walked through it. We explained everything to him. We gave him all the precarious situations that could occur because of it. And he was going to take it under advisement, which probably means nothing. Hopefully we can get him back and again, make sure that something gets done because that is a dangerous situation. But the city does what the city does. You all remember the Morris Park that road died. 95% of the people were opposed to it. The entire community was opposed to it. I think there was a few bikers that were in favor of it. In the meantime, they did it overnight against the community's wishes. Again, I'm a firm believer that the majority should rule. They may not agree with me, but if that's the majority, I go along with it. When the majority says something, usually you figure out the majority knows better than one or two individuals. Again, nothing changed on Morris Park except they made it more difficult and more dangerous. Trucks still have to double park to deliver their groceries and their fare to the different stores. So nothing has changed. It has just made it more inconvenient for drivers, and bike riders are not using the bike lanes. You have thousands of cars every day. You have maybe one bike in the bike lane. It's a no-brainer. That's my report on that. The other thing is I just want to, mention that the holiday party for the board will be December 14th at probably Pasta. I will make the arrangements tomorrow. That's strictly for board members and their guests. And the other thing is I just want to wish everybody a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. And hopefully we'll get out of here before 10 o'clock.
Veronica, treasurers.
So the treasury report has been submitted to the office. It's going to be reviewed and it will be published out for anybody who wants to see it. If you have questions, as always, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, Hazel. Secretary. Should be green. Leave it on afterwards, please.
Good evening, everyone. Minutes, October's minutes were distributed. I hope everybody got a chance to read them. I'm going to make a motion at this time to accept the meetings of October, the full board meetings October 2022.
I'll second it.
So second by Veronica, motion by Hazel to accept as submitted.
I accept.
Just clarifying for the minutes for Harriet.
Do we have any discussion on minutes? If I'm opposed to minutes? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
And sir, passed unanimously. The full board October 2022 mini minutes. That's the first motion. Sergeant at Arms report, oral.
So, I think. Bill is Sergeant. Appreciated if you to do my work at the same time. And the thing is, I respect everyone. As an adult here. It's mature and
I can't hear him at all.
You can't hear me at all. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear? Go try again. Say it again.
Okay, so that's why I try my best to allow people to talk and to speak, because everyone's a human, should be respected. And so at the same time, I have to do my job as Sergeant of Arms, where if I ask you to please stop, not to, and then there's an argument going on, if there's issues that don't relate to community issues, I'd rather not talk about that right now, bring it up at another time. And I know people in the audience right here have questions and comments, and I wish it could be different, that you can talk, but if we allow that, and this is a big group, then it just continues. So I don't know if we can have less than 25 people in the audience to respond to some of their questions. So I'm sorry.
Okay, so he's talking about his position as Sergeant at Arms for those who are online. He shouldn't have to bang his hand on the table to interrupt people from talking or talking too much. All right, my report. So I already talked about the meeting minutes. I think there's something else I want to talk about in relation to that, but I'm just, I don't know, I can't think right now. So I'm going to move on if it's okay. Unless there's a question, to committee reports. Leadership Committee, Al D'Angelo.
Basically, the leadership committee okayed the minutes for this week's meeting. Also, I just want to echo what Oral has said, pointed out, the behavior of board members at that leadership meeting was disgraceful, and Oral tried to do an excellent job. I have to take part of the blame, as one of the members of the board pointed out. The leadership committee, only people that are on the leadership committee should be sitting at the table. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. We have people sitting at the table that weren't members of the leadership committee. And what happened was there was a back and forth between a member of the committee and a member of the board that was not a member of the leadership committee. That can't happen.
We were definitely there as members of the committee, so that's not fair.
Hold on one second.
Because when you do that, when you get that back and forth with each other, it only gets into a confrontation. That's not okay. I want to thank the board member for reminding me of that. I wasn't aware of that people sitting at the table were not members of the leadership committee. I will make sure in the future that doesn't happen. So again, thanks again.
Okay, unless there's questions, comments, we'll move on to, just please, so whenever somebody's speaking, please just hold your comments until, if you're a board member, until the person's done. Economic Development, Joe Thompson. Just make sure the green button's on, Joe. Green button on top. And then just leave it on afterwards. I usually turn them on, I just didn't have time. I forgot.
I'm colorblind, there's no green button.
Hello.
That young anymore.
Thanks a lot. But we have no issues, we had nothing really to discuss. So we did not have a meeting.
It's a good idea.
And we look forward to the next meeting. That's our report.
Hey, thank you, Joe.
Hold that just to turn on the microphone.
Well, how about this? So we got education, ethics, health. Who wants to go next?
I'll
I know
go
Bernadette.
if you want. I'll go, Jeremy.
Sure. Sandy, Health Committee?
Yes, we had a meeting on Tuesday where a presentation was made about it was a creative arts therapy, and it was recorded. And if people want to see her PowerPoint, I know that I had it sent to the office, and I guess it could be posted somewhere. I don't know how you do it, Jeremy, but people can see her whole PowerPoint. It was very, very interesting, dealing with at-risk children, people, adults, etc., even convicts. So we had some glitches, but it went okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, so I don't know if anybody wants to speak on behalf of the Education Committee, since Bernadette's not here. No, Housing Committee, Land Use, Ethics, go ahead.
Jeremy,
Is it on?
I'll do it for land use.
All right, hold on, Kenny. Hold on, John Johnson's gonna go. We'll stick with the agenda.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Meeting everyone. We continue to work on looking at some of the procedures and guidelines. We're requesting some help from the Bronxville President's Office to understand our complete purview, what we can do and what we can't do. So we want to be very clear on the process, and with many times the procedure kind of throws us off track. And what was the procedure, what was not. So we want to be very clear when we put out something. And I know there are several complaints that are pending, so we didn't forget them. We appreciate your patience. Just give us a little time and we want to address them properly.
And I believe all complaints that we've received thus far have been sent out to all the Ethics Committee members, because I know that was a concern last month. So before we go to land use, Hazel's going to talk housing.
Pardon me. Can I?
Yeah. Hold on, Hazel. Yeah, go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah. So we still don't have numbers for anybody. So that that's a thing.
Okay. I think what Miguel's referring to, in case anybody wants to know, is that so according to the guidelines, each complaint will be assigned a number when the committee's ready to discuss it. So that way, because there is at least one anonymous complaint, that it will be referred to the number. So for example, when the committee meets to discuss these complaints, they're going to address complaint 2022-01 first, or whatever we assign to you, whoever's the complainant, they will be apprised of their complaint number. Right? That's what we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Okay. That'll be part of the procedure. Yeah. That we're going to iron out. Hazel, housing?
Yeah, I did submit minutes from the last meeting. They, for some reason, downtown takes 3 times to do that. So I just wanted to briefly say, we did speak about the draft letter, and that is being worked on right now. We want to make sure that we get it right. And it should be available in a couple of weeks. Once it is finalized, we will be sharing that with anybody that wants to see it. We have invited the Department of Buildings to come and speak at our next meeting. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been a lot of new buildings going up, and it's really ridiculous because along with these buildings, there is no parking or anything else. So we want the Department of Buildings to come and discuss with us, you know, what these buildings are about and also what the process is that these contractors have to go through and what steps they have to take in order to get these permits. So, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so again, because this is a new law that I obviously wasn't entirely up to date on, your minutes, your recording, your unabridged recording is online and has been, because it was live streamed, so your minutes are online. Land use, Ken Galnick?
Sorry, wait. Good evening, everybody. As I recall, first of all, we had a meeting. However, we did not have a public hearing on the 2560 Boston Road because the application was not certified. We did have a meeting. I believe the minutes are online. I have to check with them. But we are going to have a public hearing it's tentatively set for December 12th for the public hearing on this big rezoning issue. That's the report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Public safety, Veronica?
Our meeting this Tuesday, our to Caesar from FBI, he did fire safety prevention presentation, which was very good. And if you have a chance to go online presentation, it does some things to watch out for, especially during the cold season. Other than that, I'm going to try to get another guest for our next meeting, and once that is confirmed, I will let everyone know. Thank you.
Okay, Sanitation Environmental Protection Committee, Roger?
Good evening, everyone. Kind of a new member to the community board, and I was on the subcommittee sanitation and protection. I've reached out to some of the other board members to try to set up a meeting. We set up a tentative meeting for December 6th. That's at 7 p.m. at the community board. Agenda items that I already have on there is alternate side of street parking for Van Ness. There is going to be sanitation representative, I believe, at the meeting. So I also wanted to ask them about snow removal for the new bike lanes. Is there special equipment that's going to be needed for that snow removal? That's sanitation is part of that. I do know there is some overlaps with other subcommittees, transportation and parks. I know sanitation has just agreed to do some of the trash removal parks, as the parks department's not doing it, but sanitation is starting to help out on this. So that might be something else to bring up to at the meeting. If there's anyone that does want to attend the meeting and wants something else added to the agenda, and we'll co-chair and we'll give you my email address that I use for community board. And then my last name, McCrossan, MCCROSSAN as in Nancy, then cp11x@gmail.com. I'd like to have like kind of better communication with the public and then also within the other parts of the community board. Thank you.
Okay. Rabbi Fuchs, Transportation Committee. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Rabbi.
Okay, good. So we had a town hall meeting about good old Bronxdale, and I'm going to read to everybody a response by Keith Kalb, the acting commissioner of DOT. Thank you for hosting the public hearing on Monday, November 7th, concerning the Bronxdale Safety Improvement Project and the White Plains Road parking lot proposal. The community's concerns were noted specifically about the community notification process, illegal parking along the corridor, vehicular and pedestrian blind spots created by new traffic patterns and school bus access. We will continue to work with NYPD Traffic Enforcement Division and the Department of Education to resolve any concerns. In addition, we will continue to evaluate the project once completed and adjust if necessary. Please let us know if you have any other concerns. Okay, so to this, I don't know if I have to make a motion, Mr. Commissioner there or whatever, that I think we just went through Election Day, and we elected a whole bunch of beautiful people to represent this community. And I think from the borough president down, we should now take this. I know what Mr. D'Angelo, my friend, said before, was probably nothing will happen, and I don't know. I don't know if I agree, disagree, but let our politicians get involved in this. I went through Broxdale. What everybody said at that public hearing is 100% true and maybe even worse. So, and Al said before, yes, you could have your door taken, and worst of all, there could be a major, major catastrophe there, especially with the school. So my recommendation or my motion, whichever you want to call it, Mr. Chairman, is that we take the response from Mr. Kalb, which I'll be very happy to send, Jeremy has it, to forward it to our elected officials and say we are very concerned about this life and death situation, and we'd like you and your people that work for you to be involved with DOT to bring this to a peaceful peace. That is my comments for this evening. I could take any questions if I could answer it.
Does it want a letter or is it a motion?
So you're making a motion, Rabbi, or not?
Yes, sir. You want me to put it in that form? I would like to make a motion that the response that I got from Keith Kalb on November 17th at 2:02 p.m. send to our elected officials and let them start to get involved in this life and death project that affects our community.
So who seconded it? Tiz Anastasio seconded it. Any discussion? No discussion.
Rabbi, could I ask you why it's life and death?
Why life and death?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a very dangerous situation over there. People could get killed.
Thank you.
I call that life and death. And maybe I'm being a little dramatic on those words, so let's say it's a critical safety situation. If you like those words better, I'll use those words. But to me, it's an accident waiting to happen.
Thank you again.
Okay. Anybody opposed or abstaining from the motion? It's the motion to forward on the email we got from DOT to our elected officials. No? Okay, so it's unanimously passed. Okay, thank you, Rabbi. And I'm sorry I didn't put on the agenda, Serena, because I know you weren't at the last leadership meeting, but we do have a new co-chair for that committee. So, but either way, remind me, please, to make sure you're on the
Yes.
agenda next.
Yes, absolutely. So the community and development budget was submitted as of October 31st, and we do have a new co-chair, Mr. Malcolm Gray. Our first meeting will be Tuesday, November 29th, and there are some things that we plan to implement so that it is easily accessible to the board members and the community to provide their requests for the community budget needs for the next year. And so I'm excited to see how we could all collectively work together. And my email for everyone is cb11 Serena Muniz @gmail.com. Please feel free to email me and be in contact with me, and hopefully we can all work together to answer everyone's needs.
And I did receive today the submission that we sent in, so I will send that out to, as soon as I can, I'll send out to the board and the public, since especially the public has asked for that.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Serena. Am I missing any other committee chair people? I know we have two non-standing committees, bylaws and social media. I did get an inquiry about social media, if they were going to have a meeting. I'll forward you, I think it was an email. I'll forward it to Joanne is the chair of the social media committee.
Jeremy, can I go backwards 1 second? I forgot to say something.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just to inform everybody that Mr. Kalb did state at that meeting, if you have any issues on that Broxdale project, if you see anything you should go to his website and report it. And I highly recommend it for everybody, so this way everything is documented. Thank you, Jeremy, for letting me go backwards.
Okay, elected officials. Do we have anybody from the Borough President's office here, in person or remotely? If not, we'll move on to council members. Velasquez, Feliz, Riley's office. Any three? Okay, we have somebody from the council member's office? Yeah.
Hi there, Mike Portman, Senior Advisor. Just a couple things to report. 2 turkey giveaways done next week. They went fast. And reserve them. Have some fun. Tuesday Boys and Girls Club on Tuesday. We're also hoping to preach some ways over the holidays. Listening to some of the concerns that went.
Thank you. So any other council members' offices? If not, we'll ask to see if the mayor's office is present. If not, comptroller's office, public advocate's office, Bronx DA's office.
Last time my name is Erica Diaz. I will be the new representative on behalf of the District Attorney's Office. I do have a business card on the chat for whoever's online. Questions or concerns, by all means, to reach out to me. I'm very good with turning.
Okay, that was the Bronx District Attorney's Office. Now, do we have anybody from the Congress People's Offices or the State Senate Office?
Yes, I'm here, Jeremy, from Senator Biaggi's office.
Yep, go ahead, Tyler.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Our office is hosting our annual Food and Health Empowerment Fair for the November harvest season this Saturday, November 19th at 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Huntington Free Library at 9 Westchester Square. We will be distributing turkeys, fresh produce, and community resources, and supplies are on a first come, first serve. My team will send out an informational flyer for the event shortly, and I'll post the info in the chat. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you. That was Tyler from Senator Biaggi's office. Any other state senator's office? If not, we'll move on to assembly members' offices. Do we have Assembly Member Fernandez's office? Or Hasty, Benedetto, or Reyes? If not,
Guess the elections are over.
yeah, to be honest, remember, we normally meet next week, so that might be part of the problem. Old business? Anyone? Any board member? Old business? Any new business?
I have something.
Al, Angelo?
Wearing my other hat. On the 27th of November at the Rotunda at Jacoby, there's going to be a classical music concert. It's free. If anybody who likes classical music, it starts at 3 o'clock, November 27th at the Rotunda. There's also a website you can go to. It's mojac, mojac.org. It'll tell you what shows we're going to put on in the theater. Hopefully we'll have movies for the kids on a Saturday or a Sunday and theater for the adults in the community. We're just putting that together now. So, but the classical concert is free if anybody likes classical music.
Okay, any other new business?
Hi.
Yeah, hold on. Wait online, people. Let's start with Tiz Nastasio. I got it on now.
The 49th precinct, in conjunction with the 45th precinct, is also having a turkey giveaway. You can pick up vouchers at the precincts, and the turkeys are being given away at Patricia's on Tremont Avenue. And our next precinct council meeting is the 27th, the 29th. 29th at Eastchester Gardens. It starts at 12 o'clock. You have to pick up a voucher first at the 40. Always on the voucher.
What's that?
Turkey giveaways tomorrow.
Okay, giveaways tomorrow. You have to have a voucher from the 49 precinct to get it. All right, a board member online had something?
I think Janine.
No, Janine is not a board member. But we can definitely talk after the meeting.
Okay,
I
just wanted to say that Al brought up that on the 27th, the classical music and all that, that is also my birthday. So anybody that wants to give me a gift less than $50, that'd be great.
It has to be limited to $25, I think, for a conflict of interest board.
25? Okay.
Yeah. You can check.
Anybody, thank you.
Okay. So, happy birthday.
Jeremy, can I talk? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question. Is there any reason why we're not doing these all remotely so we don't have all these technical issues?
Why are we not fully remote? Is that the
Yeah,
question?
why are we not fully remote? I don't understand. We still, there's still a lot of concerns in terms of COVID, monkeypox, there's RSV now. Why are we not having this fully remote until some of these issues are resolved?
I don't know if anyone wants to address that. I mean, I think some people prefer to meet in person, right? What's that? So, okay, one person at a time. Somebody want to speak into a mic? Anybody? Debbie?
For the totally in person, not even hybrid. I think
Yeah.
it's at least a happy medium that.
We're trying.
Yes, I think if the board votes to have the meeting remotely, I think we should listen to that and have it remotely until people feel comfortable. Or
I am
until
with me on this.
until the health concerns are under control or more under control.
Hello, this is.
Richard Reynoso.
What's the law? What's the specific law? What did Kathy Hochul decide at the end? No.
So right now, we're allowed to meet remotely, half the board approximately, at least, is remote tonight. So the state of emergency through the state, Kathy Hochul, has ended, but there's still a state of emergency within the city for Mayor Adams, which is allowing us to be I think we're more than a quorum remote. So I don't know if that will continue, right? I know, yeah, some people, they don't want to bother with this mess. You can see it's problematic for me. And so they're fully in person. I know other boards are looking to buck the system and go fully remote again without an executive order,
Jeremy?
so.
Just leave it, don't get into a discussion.
Jeremy, it's Yahi.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, so the executive order keeps getting extended. So we have to plan for that it's not going to get extended. Because if we plan for it getting extended and it doesn't get extended and we meet virtually, then that meeting is not official. So I think last month it was extended a day or two before our in-person meeting, before our hybrid meeting, the hybrid meeting that we can legally have. So we have to think about the logistics. Where will we meet? We can't figure it out 2 days before and call Maestros and say, hey, can we meet at your location 1 or 2 days before? It doesn't work that way. So we have to plan that way. If we get a definite answer that it will be remote past, let's say they say, okay, the executive order is extended until December 31st. What I usually do is I'll ask Jeremy, can you please send an email out to board members and get their input on if they want to do it in person or remote. That's what we've been doing, but I understand your concern, but we can't do that.
Okay. Unless is there any other discussion?
I'm sorry, we can't do it because if we vote that we would like to do it, or extended until we feel that we feel more comfortable, we can't do it?
The executive order. it's not
As a
us
board,
voting.
as a board? Okay.
The executive order supersedes our vote.
Okay.
All right. So any other discussion or new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Yes,
Motion.
I'm online, Jeremy.
Okay, just wait, Janine. Any board members? So
Yeah,
motion,
just to be clear, like that, so the executive order by the mayor is what is governing us at this point, correct?
it's allowing you, yeah, it's allowing them.
It's allowing me to, be virtual at this point.
Yeah. Correct.
So I wanted to be clear about that.
Yeah.
I would just,
I have a question. This is Lisa. So I understand what you're saying, Yahe, about, we have to have this contingency plan, but because we don't know what the executive order, if it's going to be extended. But if it's just that, if it's kind of and I'm giving the name contingency plan. I know you didn't say that, but if it's a plan for just in case, and then we find out that it is extended, can't we just go fully remote?
For example, for me, planning wise, if I'm planning for an in-person meeting, I'm gonna take the day off from work. If I'm taking the day off from work and then it turns into remote, no, I took the day off. I'm gonna go in person. I get a full experience in person. I prefer to meet in person. And I think there's a good number of community board members that prefer to meet in person. We've done the survey numerous times and I saw the results of the survey. So when the governor or the state, they have an executive order that covers the entire state. So they lifted the executive order, which forced us to meet in person in September. We didn't have any options in September. And then the mayor extended the executive order after our meeting, which then took us into October.
Yeah,
and
how many
October
people
was extended
did-
until
Right.
a couple of
How many
days
people showed up,
before.
Let him
virtually this
finish.
time?
Let him finish. Are you finished, Jai?
Yeah, and then I have a follow-up after he finishes.
Yeah, so in October, it was extended just a couple of days before. It was extended by the city, not by the state. So again, the state supersedes the city, but if the city puts something in place, then we'll follow that. We're able to follow that option.
Right.
that
No,
we have.
I'm not disputing any of that. I totally understand that. So, okay, so given that, my follow-up is then if we are going to continue in this hybrid fashion, then I think we need to do something to make it more to make it fair to the people who are remote, because the experience for those of us, and I'm sure everybody who's online agrees, is not good. We can barely hear anything. So whether that's investing in better equipment or something, so whatever it is, something needs to be done to make it a true hybrid meeting, because it's really not hybrid at this point. We're barely hearing anything.
Yeah, the board agreed. I think everybody agrees that we're going to try to contract somebody to make this better, right? Because we understand it's not just the board members, it's the members of the public who show up to the remote part of it too.
And I'm sorry, I'm
Also,
still
Jamie,
not.
let's remember, if we do go back into having regular meetings with the hybrid option, the idea is that we have to have a quorum in person before the meeting can continue. So if we have 25 board members online and only 15 in person, that doesn't work. So
What Naomi was
to-
suggesting
yeah,
was
go
that we
ahead.
change that.
Yeah, I don't understand why we can't make that change. And my other issue is, what are other boards doing? Because I'm almost sure there's another board meeting virtually. So I don't understand.
Yeah, it's fixed, but if anybody really wants, I can inquire about what the other boards specifically are doing.
I just wanted to say that I choose to do remote because of both health and safety reasons. But because I do remote, I'm really not privy to the whole meeting, because even with the closed captioning, you don't get the gist of what everyone is saying or accurate of what is being said. So I participate in a whole meeting, but I miss a good portion of it because of the technical issues.
We're going to try to rectify that.
It could be as easy as installing an additional.
Hold on, Yahi, hold on, Yahi, hold on.
Didn't you just say you're getting someone in to clarify the problems that are?
Yeah, we're gonna look at contracting somebody to do a real hybrid setup versus what I'm doing. Yes.
Let's get out of Dodge.
So any other, so there was a motion by Al to adjourn,
An hour.
seconded by Janice. Any discussion?
No discussion.
Any opposition or against? Motion carries unanimously at 8:23 PM. Janine from the public,
Pretty good.
you have a question? Sorry?
Yes, I
Janine?
do. I would like to make a quick statement.
Okay. Go
Does
ahead.
Does everybody hear me?
Yes, everyone online can hear you.
Serena, can you please read the chat?
No more. I just want to say thank you, community board, for having these meetings. Obviously, you guys are up against a lot of issues from what I'm hearing. Sometimes there's a lot of hostility in some people's voices. I'm getting some positivity out of some things, but I would like to address this. I'm hoping that it goes to the right ears. It's so sad and disheartening that the community board is hearing all of our complaints, but the problem in our community is the people we voted for or we didn't vote for and are in office, because they're not on these meetings. And that's very disheartening to me. I think we need to hear from them. Those are the decision makers, the higher ups, and I would like to see how we get, where are all our council people? Where are they? Where is the assembly? Biagi's on talking about turkeys. I get it. That's so nice that they're doing this, but we want to hear feelings. There's a lot of stuff going on in New York City and our borough, the Bronx, and our community, and we want to hear their thoughts and what's going on. They need to bring more stuff to the table and make us as citizens feel more comfortable with how we're living and where our money's going to. That's all I would like to say. So thank you, community board, but I know you guys are working hard in hearing us, but are the other proper people hearing us?
Janine, I think you should ask them.
Nobody responds. I personally called and emailed everybody from all the offices today, got no response.
And
I've been doing that for a while now, especially with this, especially with what's going on. There are big problems here in the community. We're talking about roadways. We're talking about housing. We're talking about inmates. These are very serious issues that are going to damage the community. And the community board is hearing us. We're voting against them. But I think higher ups need to hear this within the city. These are people that, like I said, whether we voted for them, we didn't vote for them, but they are in office representing our district, our council, our assembly, our senate. Where are they when we need them? They need to hear all these rights.
You should probably
not just
talk to
the
them.
Community board.
I don't think it's our purpose.
Yeah, and maybe Janine, you can contact them via email. Documentation is always, I think,
I
best.
do that all the time. I come from the corporate world. I put everything in writing and I forward it. And like I said, it's just disheartening that there's no, only the community board is listening to these gripes. And I feel that there are bigger problems here that they should be involved in. No disrespect, Natalia Fernandez was at a Pelham Parkway Association meeting. How come she couldn't come to community board tonight and listen in, or somebody from her office? I know she's on her way out, but she's on to bigger and better, but she's still supporting our community.
Have you contacted the liaisons that are attending these meetings? You've
I've
them?
contacted their offices in email, phone calls. I just wanted to put that on record, that how it's disheartening.
Yeah.
The community board is listening to us, but I
We
think
are.
us as a community should all be up against the people that are in office. I think that's the problem here. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Community Board 11, but I think the problem is a little bit more deep. Everybody have a nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Jeremy, are we adjourned?
I think that was a motion.
I'm shutting down, all right?
I'm seconding and voting that.
I'm in total agreement.
All right, I'm gonna shut it down, all right?
Everyone have a great Thanksgiving.
Great Thanksgiving, everybody.
Everyone have
Have a great
Thank you.
holiday.
Good night.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.